Today we will create main menu scene using UI Toolkit. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button now so you will not miss any feature content I release. So as you can see on the screen, this is the main menu we're going to create today. Let me hit play and the main menu is loaded. Everything was created in the UI Toolkit, so there are some animation when you hover over the buttons. They are scaled up, and also when you press play, you're loading the game scene. So that's the simple menu. I'm going to show you how you can create that. So here is the empty project I have created with two empty scenes, game and the menu scene, and also I have added the scenes to built-in scenes and switch my project to iOS. So that's all my preparation. So now let's first of all open the UI Builder window. So under the window, UI Toolkit, go to the UI Builder. So this is the basically UI Toolkit window where we're going to create our menu. So first of all, in the hierarchy, we already have one element, which is our UXML file, and we need to just save it. So let's hit File, Save. And now we're going to be directed to the location where we want to save our UXML. So I will create new folder called UI, and I will save this UI as the main menu UI and hit save. So once you save and you give it a name, the object should be renamed to the proper name. So when you select it now, we want to set the target resolution. This is usually the resolution you're gonna target your game. I'm gonna do the portrait mode, so it's gonna be 1080 by 1920. And I'm gonna hit also the match the game view. So if you hit this match the game view, basically the resolution will be pulled down whatever you have selected over here. So if you selected that portrait mode, that's gonna be the resolution you're gonna be targeted. So now fit canvas, and also I'm gonna just scale down to have the full screen. So for the 25%, and this is our basically the main menu window. And let's save it, file and the save. And now we can start adding the containers. So first of all, let's add the main container. So I'm gonna drop the visual element and drop it into the hierarchy, and I will rename it to main container. Okay, let's select it, and let's go to the flex and make sure you have shrink and then grow set to 1. So this container, as you see, is going to cover the entire screen, and this is going to be our background. So I'm going to go to the background and I will select the texture. So for the texture, I have already imported some of the graphics just for this tutorial and for my game as well. So I have the background somewhere here. Here is the background. I'm gonna just grab this graphics and then drop it into the image. So automatically the graphics should be applied to the main container, and that's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna divide my UI into a few different sections. So the first section will be the top area where I have two buttons. Another section will be the title, where is the title of the game. Next section is going to be play button, and then footer is going to be the last section. So I'm going to grab a few different visual elements, and I'm going to dock it under the main container. So first one was the header. Then another one was the title. Next one will be the play button. and the last one will be the footer. Okay, and now we can place some elements. So under the header, I want to have two buttons. So I'm gonna grab from the containers, I'm gonna scroll down and grab button and drop it under the header. And I'm gonna grab another button, drop it there. So as you see, we have two buttons created in our screen, which are positioned one after another. So in order to change that position, because we want them to have them on the sides, I'm gonna select the header. I'm gonna go to the align, and first of all, let's under the flex, let's change the direction. Currently the direction is down. Let's switch the direction to the row. So the button already was repositioned. Then I will set the grow to be 0. So it's not going to cover the entire screen. And also on the basis, I will set this to be %, and I will set this to be 15%. Okay, then align items, I'm going to align them in the middle. And also I'm going to justify content to be space between. So the buttons are on the sides. Now we can apply the graphics to the buttons. So let's select the first button, and I will rename that button to be heart. And I will select my sprite, which is going to be this one. And let's go under the background and let's apply that texture. So top live sprite. Okay, and now as you see, the button is quite small. So in order to make it matching the resolution of our sprite, I will just hit this under the scale mode, scale to fit. And also under the size, I'm gonna set the size to match the size of the texture. So if I select the texture now, as you can see on the side, I have the texture to be 288 by 130. By 130. Okay, and now let's remove the background color. So I will change the alpha value on the color to be transparent. So now we have the button, and also let's remove the text. So scroll up and remove the text. So we have the first button. Another button we want to create is our coin button. So right click, rename coin. And we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to remove the text. We're going to go to our background and apply the coin texture. Let's select that coin texture and let's set the resolution to be under the scale to be under the size to be 296 by 229. Set the scale mode to fit, scale to fit, and let's remove the background, change the alpha to be transparent, and now we have our another button. There's only also some border around, so let's go to the border and let's change that border width from 1 pixel to 0. So we remove the border, and we're going to do the same for the heart. Change the border to 0 pixels. So we have our two buttons. So another part of the screen is our title. So let's click on the title. Let's go to the flex, and under the flex, let's change the grow to be 0. Let's change the basis to be %, and let's set it to 50%. So this is roughly the idea how wide the title will be, how much screen it's going to cover. And now let's go under the background. Let's grab our I'm gonna grab my title logo, and I'm gonna drop it under the image, scale to fit, and that's it. Now let's go to the play button. Let's set this area to be 20% of the screen. So let's go to the flex, set the grow to 0, set 20%, and make sure you set the percentage. And also I'm gonna make justify content to be center, so the bottom will be right in the center. Okay, and now under this visual element we can grab bottom and drop it there. So make sure the bottom is actually child of the play bottom visual element. And now when we select the bottom, we can grab our texture and apply it to the image, and then scale to fit. And again, we want to set the resolution for our bottom. So if I hit the play button, I have the resolution. So under the size, let's change that 657 by 219. Okay, so we have our bottom. Let's change the color for the background to be transparent. And let's remove the text. And also let's remove the border right at the bottom to be 0 pixels. So we have our play button. And now there is last part of the screen, which is the footer. So for the footer, because this is the last part, is going to cover the rest of the screen, so I will not change the grow will be 1. So if any of the different part of the screen will resize, the footer will cover it. I will actually change the justify content to be center. So the bottom will be stay in the middle of this area, and then let's grab our bottom from the controls and drop it on the footer. So make sure the bottom is basically a child of the footer, and then let's rename the bottom to be settings. And now the bottom, we need to apply the texture. So for the settings, I have another bottom somewhere. Here it is, and let's drop that texture, scale to fit, and also set the size to be 124 by 130. And make sure it's a pixels. Let's remove the background. And also let's remove the border. So that's gonna be the 0 pixels. And let's remove the text. Okay, let's actually, I forgot to rename the button. Under the play button, make sure the button we have added is named play. So we have our buttons now. We can actually apply some paddings to it, but we're gonna apply the paddings to all of the buttons. So in order, we don't want to go one by one and selecting every single button. So the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna create the style sheet. So right under the style sheet, I'm gonna try to add new selector. So I'm gonna put dot and then main button. This is going to be the name of the class. Hit enter, and because there is no style sheet created, Unity will ask you where you want to create your style sheet. So I will going to give it a name, main menu style sheet. And I will save it under the UI folder and then hit save. So as you see, once you create it, you will see the name of the USS file with the class name we selected. So now on this class, we can actually drop this class on every single button in our hierarchy. So just grab it. You can drop it either over here, or you can drop it directly on the elements. Is up to you. So I'm gonna drop it on the heart, drop it on the coin. I'm gonna drop it on the play, and I will drop it on the settings. So once you drop this style on every single element you want, if you highlight the style, you will see the buttons which have that class applied will be highlighted. And just to double check, if you click on any button, for example play, if you go to the style sheet class, you will see that class has been added under the menu button, under the class's name. So we have that class. Let's apply some paddings, some margin. So select the class from the main menu style sheet, go to the margin and padding. So I will apply the margin from the left to be 20 pixels. As you see, all of the buttons has been moved by 20 pixels. And then from the right, I will also apply the 20 pixels. So right is going to be 20. So the coin will be moved as well. So under the file, hit save. And now we can actually add the hover effect on the button. So for now, if you hit the preview here, you will see that all of the main menu is static. There is no animation at all. So let's hit again the preview. In order to make the hover effect on the button, we need to add the selector. There are a few different selectors on the Unity. So Unity call it the Pseudo class. So if you go to the Unity website for the documentation, I will leave the link in the description. You can see you have a few different Pseudo classes. You have hover, active, inactive, focus, and so on. You can read what they're doing. And in order to use them, basically what we need to do, we are interested about the hover effect, so we use the hover. So if you go back to Unity, we're going to create another selector, which is going to be exactly the same name, main menu button. But this time we're going to put the colon, and we're going to pseudo class name, so that's going to be the hover. If you're going to name it like that, you will see the hover will be highlighted in green, and this effect will be applied directly. This style will be applied directly when you actually hover on any of the button. So now for the hover, we want to make some animation. So for this class, let's select this style, main menu button hover. And the only parameter we want to change is under the transform, and we want to scale it, scale all of the button up by 1.1 scale, 1.1 on the X and 1.1 on Y. This is the only difference we want to make. So make sure you set that. And now in order to play this animation, we need to actually do one change in our menu button. So select the menu button style and go to the transform and animation, and you will see all animation, all properties, and currently the duration is set to 0. So in order to see that animation playing, you will have to set that duration to anything different than 0. So I will change this to 0.2. You can select any time you like, and also you have the easing function, so you can select the different easing function for your animation. Once you've done all of these changes, if you hit the preview, you will see now when we hover over the button will scale up, because the menu button hover effect will be applied. And now in order to see this UI in your game, because when we hit play now there is nothing displayed in our game, we will need to add one game object. So in our hierarchy, let's right click, create empty, and I will call this game object to UI document. And then under the UI document, I will add the script. So add component, and let's search for the UI document. And this component is directly created by Unity, so you should have it. And now we need to create one file, which is the panel settings. So under our asset UI, I will right click, create UI Toolkit, and this is gonna be the panel setting asset. So inside this asset, you can name it UI settings. Under this asset, I will change the reference resolution from 96 to 144 for better, crispier graphics. So once you've done that, you can actually save it, and now select our UI document, grab our UI settings and drop it under the panel settings. And now we need to just drag and drop our source asset, which is going to be our main menu UI. So drop it there. And once you do that, you will see our UI is displayed. So now when you hit play, you can actually see our buttons are animating, but there is nothing happen when you actually press on the play button because we don't have any scripts yet. So let's do the last bit and let's add some script. So under the scripts folder, so let's create that folder. Scripts, I'm gonna create the script, C# script, and let's call this script main menu UI, and I will open it. So the first field we want to add is the scene name we want to load. So this is going to be the serialized private string and then scene name. Let's remove this comment. So this scene name will be set from the editor. And then let's actually rename our start function to be on-enabled. And I will just make explicitly private. I will remove the update function because we won't need it. And now we can set in our on-enable. First of all, we need to capture the root element, so root visual element. So let's put var and then root. And the root element will be get component, UI document, and then dot root visual element. So now we're gonna capture our start button. So in order to find the button, we will create the start button variable, and then we're gonna call the root visual element, and we wanna query the button type, and we're gonna put the name of the button. So the play button is named play. So make sure this name is matching whatever you set in the script. So if I go back to Unity, you see our button is named play. So make sure this name match whatever you set in the script. So for this button, I'm gonna add the on-click event. So on the start button, we're gonna put dot clicked, and I'm gonna pass the plus equal the lambda function, and we're gonna call the scene manager dot load scene, and we're gonna put our scene name. Make sure you include the scene management and then UI elements inside using statements. So after you've done that, we can save everything and we can go back to Unity. And now go back to our UI document and then grab our main menu UI script and drop it there. And now we want to put the name of the scene we want to load. So that's going to be our game scene. And once you've done that, we are ready to test it. So when you hit play now, if you hit play button, we're going to load the game scene. As you see, we are in the game scene. So this is how you can create your main menu using the new UI toolkit. Hopefully this tutorial wasn't too difficult and you learned something from it. Please leave a comments below this video if you're already using the UI toolkit for your UI in your game and what you think about this new UI system. I will catch you again in the next video.